Navigating through this spiritual journey is challenging.
One of the greatest empires in world history was the Mali Empire. The Mali Empire was one of the most prosperous and powerful empires in the antiquity of Africa. Its growth and expansion from the 13th century onwards was legendary and pivotal in the history and culture of Western Africa. The Mali Empire Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin, available on Amazon, is a book which provides the full historical record of the Mali Empire. From their control over the trans-Saharan trade routes and development of great cities such as Timbuktu, to their influential royal class who produced notable African kings such as Mansa Musa, Sundiata Keita, and Mansa Abubakar Keita II, the Mali Empire made a significant impression. This book is perfect for anyone interested in learning more about the history of Western Africa. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Mali Empire, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy today.
In the tapestry of time, every family has a story to tell, but memories captured in old photos can fade away, lost to the ravages of time. Don't let your cherished memories slip away. Digitizing your family photos is the first step to preserving your legacy. At Legacy Planning and Preservation, we specialize in preserving your family's history. Secure your memories for generations to come. Preserve the past, protect the future. Visit our website now and take the first step to preserving your family's legacy. Don't wait. The moments captured in those photos won't last forever.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Friday, well, it's Friday here in Atlanta. I hope your Friday is going well. I'm not sure what time it is or day it is, wherever you're at, but wherever you're at. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this setting real quick. Okay, we're good to go. Wherever you're at, I hope you're having an awesome day, and we're going to jump right into it. Shakina Chinedu, who I personally knew, she passed away in the Gambia. I believe her body was found either last night or this morning in a well on her property. If you ask me, there was definitely foul play. It's unfortunate what happened, but I want to share this with the women. This is specifically for the women. Okay. And please do not take this the wrong way. I am not being misogynistic, however you say the word, but we just got to have an honest conversation here. Okay. And especially when it comes to the Gambia, but really when it comes to a lot of other African countries. But specifically when it comes to the Gambia, this is going to be my advice moving forward. Because in the past, I want to say 6 months, we've had 5 or 6 expats, women, who have met their demise under very, very weird circumstances. When it comes to the Gambia, all right, this is my advice. If you are a single woman, don't go. Don't move there. All right. If you are a single woman, do not move to the Gambia as a single woman. Period. That just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Do not move to the Gambia as a single woman. All right. That if you plan on moving to the Gambia anyway, what's up, Ayana? What's up, Quasi? Yeah, just don't move to the Gambia as a single woman. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Don't move to the Gambia as a single woman. You know, that's my advice. Just stay out of the Gambia. And I would even say this. If you're contemplating moving to the Gambia and you have a fiance or a boyfriend that you've been communicating with via Facebook that you've never met, but he's your fiance and you in love, you in love because he's so romantic through the Facebook Messenger. Don't go. Don't go. If you plan on moving to the Gambia as a woman, you need to go with your husband who you've met, whether in America or the UK, Europe, or whatever. Okay? Again, don't you move. This is just my advice. Do not move to the Gambia as a single woman. And, I met this man from the Gambia via Facebook or Instagram, and he's so romantic. And my love of my life, he in the Gambia, I'm going there to marry him. That don't count. No. This is my advice. Do what you want. You're an adult. But if you have not laid eyes on him, touched, felt him, if he's not where you're at currently, if you did not meet him personally in the West or wherever you're at, don't move to the Gambia. Okay, that's my advice. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Don't go to the Gambia trying to get show how Stella got her groove back on. Again, don't go to the Gambia trying to get show how Stella got her groove back on. Or looking for love. Or I'm in the Gambia and I found this guy, he's so sweet. Nah, because this is what you have to understand about Africa, okay? And in regards to Africa and your standards that you have in the West. So we've had this conversation before. In America, sisters say they want a man, he got to make 6 figures, he got to do this. I ain't going 50-50 with no man, but Fannie Willis does. That's another story. That's another story. Okay? I got to have a man that makes 6 figures. Y'all go to Africa and you get with these dudes, and this is none of my business, to each his own. To each his own. Y'all getting brothers, especially in the Gambia, who don't even have running water. Let me repeat that. You go from, we need a man that makes 6 figures in the West. Then you go to Africa and you get dudes that don't even have running water or a house or their own, anything. These little villager city boys, which I ain't hating on the villager city boys. Do your thing. And trust me, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. And the reality is like the good Gambian men, the majority of African men, period, who have wealth and resources, they're already taken. They're gone. So the majority of your sisters, when you get to Africa, you getting the leftovers. Because when I talk to, like, if I'm in Gambia, wherever country I'm at, I'm like, and I'm talking to the local women, I'm like, would y'all marry a guy like that? They're like, hell no. Hell no. But y'all love them, which again is none of my business. Do handle your business, do your thing, whatever makes you happy. But for some reason in the Gambia, that strategy ain't working out. So I would just advise, if you're single, just stay out of the Gambia. There's a lot of sisters, you move to Africa, you're getting the leftover men. That's just reality. And then the men who have wives, a lot of y'all ain't with the polygamy stuff. So that X's that out. So you're just left with the leftover men. and then seeing some of the videos and the reports coming out of Gambia, y'all going over there, you're doing. Don't judge me, but you know what I mean. You're bringing that attitude over there, and you might get away with it for so long. But I am telling you, you do that attitude shit with the wrong person, with the wrong man, you're gonna end up effed up. I'm just saying, you're gonna end up effed up. So that's why I'm advising, do what you wish. That if you do not have a man, do not go to Gambia single. And if you're trying to get your how Stella got her groove back on in the Gambia, all the good, and this is Africa, period. The majority of the good men, what you guys would consider good men by American standards, they're off the market. They are off the market. So that leaves you with the little village and city boys. And I'll tell you this story. When I was in Zanzibar, this was 2011. When I was in Zanzibar in 2011, there's a group of Black American sisters, or we'll say Western sisters, okay? We'll say Western sisters. That's what we'll say, Western sisters. And I remember, and you guys know, if you guys been to Zanzibar before, you got I call them the fake rosters. They're a bunch of fake rosters. The white women that are single are not experienced. You bring up a great point. But I'm going to tell you why. But I'm going to put the link in the chat room, Quasi, and I'm going to tell you why they're not experiencing that. Because when the white women that are single who go to the Gambia, they don't come with like that entitlement spirit on a level that a lot of our sisters are. They get more on code. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Quasi. All my years going to Africa, I have not seen a white woman pull up on the locals doing this shit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. All my years going to Africa, I have not seen a white woman. Let's just have this honest conversation, all right? I have not seen a white woman expose the locals. Am I right or wrong? They mind their own business. I'm just saying, they're not coming with that feminist spirit. Am I right or wrong? I've been going since 2011. I have not seen a white woman snap and then grab the camera and I'm gonna expose you. I gotta show you. I haven't seen it. Yeah, the white women, they go single, they'll have fun with the local men. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the white women come to Africa and roll their eyes and roll their neck. Am I right or wrong? I know I'm gonna make a lot of people upset. I haven't seen it. I mean, you roll your eyes, you roll your neck, you pull out your camera, you pull out your phone, you gotta expose the Gambians. And I'm telling you, you're only gonna get so far before you piss off the wrong Gambian, before you piss off the wrong African. I mean, am I right or wrong? Thank you. The single white women, they go to Gambia, they mind their business. Everything, like I said before, everything ain't got to be an expose. Everything got to be, I got to call them out. Everything got to be, I got to expose you. No white women, they go to Africa, they chill. They get their little rent a roster. They get their little rent a roster and they chill out. That's what they do. They ain't calling, and listen, it ain't perfect. Africa's not perfect, but they're not calling out every little thing and putting it on camera and then uploading it to YouTube. When I see white women over there, they're not embarrassing everybody. Like, damn. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it has happened. Thank you. It's called situational awareness. It's equivalent to you invite me to your house and you say, Dynast, you got to take off your shoes before you enter. And I tell you, I ain't got to take off my shoes. I'm going to leave my shoes on. That's not how I do it at my house. This is how we do it at my house. We keep our shoes on. And sit there and argue with you about it. And this is what's going on. We're going to these people's country. Hold on, my bad. Hold on 1 second. I can call that person back. We go to these people's country and we expect them to conform to us. And at the very minimum, if we expect them to conform to us, at least have something in exchange to give them a value. And I'm not saying it has to be necessarily money, but it needs to be a win-win. Here we go. It needs to be a win-win. It has not been a win-win. And I'm telling you, you go over there, you continue to embarrass these people, put them on blast, put them on camera. You want to turn to Jerry Springer? Gambia is a underdeveloped. I'm gonna be very careful. Gambia is a developing Islamic country where I think Gambia is Islamic. I think so, because Senegal is. Gambia and Senegal is pretty much the same. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Kwesi, correct me if I'm wrong. Gambia is an Islamic country where men can have multiple wives. All right. You see how the women act in the majority of these African countries. Like, I go to African countries, the women are bowing to the men. They're not rolling their eyes. They're not rolling their neck. They're not doing none of that shit. In fact, that's what needs to happen. Sisters, when you go to Africa, see how the local women act. And try your hardest to blend in or mimic how they act. That's what you need to do. As much as possible. A lot of our sisters are going into patriarchal societies. Okay, listen, let's stop with, okay, sisters, when you go to Africa, you know, the black woman is God, you know, Africa used to be, what bullshit did I hear the other day? Africa used to be a matriarchal, women used to rule society before the white man came. Stop. You are entering into patriarchal societies, period. So that feminist attitude, you need to check that shit out the door. I'm sorry. Again, that feminist spirit, feminist attitude, that feminist, I'm a strong black woman, that feminist, all my life I had to fight. Just check that shit out the door. I'm sorry. It's not working. It's not working. If you can show me where that is working right now for women of the diaspora who are going to Africa, please give me the example. I have not heard one African woman in Africa talk about she's a strong Black woman. All my life I had to fight and I'm a strong Black woman. I have not heard it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. You're welcome to say, Dynas, you're wrong. We doing this here in this part of Africa, and it's working out. Let me know. And I'm not saying this is Shakina's situation, but some of the stuff I've seen out of the Gambia and out of Africa, then y'all worry about why shit is going south. I'm just telling you why. I was in Zanzibar. This is another story. This was back in 2011, my first trip. And I had my camera. And I went and I wanted to video or take a picture of one of the soldiers. That soldier told me, put that camera down. I'm going to make you I'm going to make you disappear. You know what? I didn't argue with him. I ain't go back and forth. I said, yes, sir. And I kept it moving. They ain't got to tell me nothing else. I mean, there's a lot that goes on that's off. Everything doesn't need to be on camera. Oh, let me get back to my other story, though. No, literally, he told me, he said, I will make you disappear. I said, okay, no problem. Sorry, sir. Have a nice day. I kept it moving. Never again. But let me get back to my other Zanzibar. My first trip to Zanzibar, my first trip to Africa, I learned a lot. So there was a group of, we'll say, diaspora women or Western women. I'm assuming they're Black American, but we'll just say Western women. And so, guys, when you go to these, especially these cities that are near the water, close to the water, you got these fake Rastas. I call them rental Rastas. So, they're all tour guides. No, some are legit. Let me say this. Some are real cool. Some are legit. Some are just out there hustling draws for green cards. Oh, hold on. My phone. Let me plug this in. So this won't go dead. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're good. Black Beauty, you didn't butcher my name, Black Beauty. And so, they'll come, they'll see, you guys, if you've been to Zanzibar or even, primarily Zanzibar, when you're walking, they'll all come run up to you. My sister, my brother. You need help, you need guide. That's what they do, which is cool. Listen, it's a sales job. I get it. I ain't mad. Get your money. I ain't mad. So they approached the sisters. They showed the sisters around and or whatnot. And I remember the sisters were like, "Oh yeah, these Zanzibar men, these African men, they so romantic. They so romantic. They know how to treat a woman. The American men ain't romantic, but these African men are so romantic. They so romantic." So they leave. I kid you not. A group of old white women came from Europe. I'm talking about old Like, this was the weirdest shit I ever seen. Because, you know, when I was in college playing college football, you know, we had the snow bunnies. We had the white girls. But they was young and shit. Like, you wouldn't see us, you know, teenage, like we're 18, you know, early 20s. Like, we're not chilling with no 60-year-old white women. 60-year-old women, period. White, black, or whatever. That shit was just weird. So they so romantic, you know. Those boys, when the women left, these old white women came. I'm talking about in their 60s, 70s, wrinkled up, cellulite. Next day, I see these renter rosters who was now with old white women, walking around, holding hands, kissing. So what sisters have to realize, a lot of y'all, not all, okay, but a lot. When you go to Africa looking for love, these are the type of men you're getting. And I said that before, and I got attacked. I mean, I got attacked. The sisters were attacking me. Dynasty, you don't know what you talking about. You hater. You just jealous. I said, okay. No problem. This goes on in the Gambia. And so that's why I'm telling sisters, before you go to the Gambia, you need to have that established where you're at as far as a relationship. Because when you go to the Gambia, more than likely, the man you're gonna get is gonna be a riddle roster. That's what you get. That's what's left over. That's what's left over. That's just the reality. It is what it is. And that's for a lot of Africa. It is what it is. But hey, it's none of my business. That's between you and your partner. But I just thought it was amazing. I'm like, listen, y'all want a 6-figure dude in America, but you go to Africa and you get a dude that ain't even got running water. No, I'm not saying that. No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the majority of, we'll say, middle class Gambian men, upper middle class, upper class, they're already taken. So that leaves you with the renter rosters. V. Harris, you make a great point. The passport bros are dying in South America. Passport sisters are dying, unfortunately, in Africa. Here you go. There you go. Amina, see, you smart, Amina. Keep your Black American or Western sugar daddies. There you go. The best advice I can give you. That is the best advice I can give you. Do not go to the Gambia looking for love. You find that in the West. Then go. All right, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation. Oh, shoot. Link is in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, please call in. Please call in. Link is in the chat room. Please click on the link. My bad. What's up, Delroy?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's good?
Everything cool. Everything cool.
What's going on? How you want to add to the conversation?
A very small thing. I think we concentrate too much on the few YouTubers that always seem to go through the same mess all the time. I mean, there are other people that's not on YouTube. I'm talking about for women getting along pretty fine. But I'm gonna point out two YouTubers. One in the Gambia. She was one of the first YouTubers. You probably know her, right? She got married, have two beautiful children with an African dude. Another one in Tanzania. You probably know her too. She
Right.
got married, have two beautiful women. I mean, have two beautiful children with an African man. So
Right.
I mean, a lot of it work out. A lot of it we don't see on camera.
Right.
Right?
So
So,
I'm talking about the Gambia. Like I said,
right,
the Gambias. Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
I
this
understand.
happens in the Gambia, but like you said, the sister you're talking about the sister in Namibia.
Yes,
And you're also talking about
the other sister in Tanzania.
yeah, right. But
Yeah, these are
I'm talking specifically about the Gambia.
yeah, these are yeah. I understand, but what happened with the sister in the Gambia? Although she might have went too far as putting everything on camera, like you said, but it shouldn't have led to murder. You see what I'm saying? It should not have
You're
led
right.
to murder.
You're right. But
Yeah,
this is like the sixth or fifth death in the last 6
yeah,
months.
it's crazy.
So it's a problem.
It is crazy. And as far as black women go, and so I love black women. I have a black wife, black sister, black mother, and black daughter. So I love black women. There was an incident and O'Shea happened to O'Shea friend in Uganda where the African woman beat the hell out of this African American dude. Her boyfriend knocked his teeth out, everything. All right. And this was an African woman.
Right.
You know, so they got trafficking women all over the goddamn place, both black and white. Right. And as far as being submissive, as far as black women being submissive, yeah, Dianus, it is true that before Christianity and Islam, right, our sisters was never submissive. They had their each person, male and female, had their position in society, and they act upon that. But we never had any submissive sisters.
Can you be specific and tell me which ethnic group?
Black women on the African continent in general before Christianity and Islam. Before Christianity and Islam, all right. Black women had their place. Black men had their place in society. And in after Christianity and Islam, both groups, both black male and female, overstep their boundary, which they should not have. You know, but that's a long time ago. Yes, now it's turned completely around. But black woman was never submissive to any man before Christianity and Islam.
Can you define submissive? Like what's your definition of submissive?
Okay. Have the way I see it, the way I see it is like black women not supposed to have any input. All right, it's supposed to be always the man in today's society, in the after Christian, after Islam society, is the man have the last word, including in the home, which is ridiculous.
How is having but how is having input like not being? I'm confused. So you saying
as far as submissive, the man had the complete last word. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
right? Submissive in everything.
Can you give me a specific example as far as society where that's true?
As far as
before Christian, Can you give me a specific example?
As far as you mean how women was before?
Yeah, from what you're saying,
they were. I can't think of one society, whether it's in ancient like ancient Benin, ancient Nigeria, like in the Nak culture, definitely not ancient Kush or ancient Kemet. It never happened. And yes, you know that we had men fighting alongside. alongside of women all the time. I mean,
well,
that's a regular thing.
well, it's just like prime example. When I go to Yoruba land, when I'm in Senegal, wherever I go, like it's even before Islam and Christianity came, they always had their customs, and there are a lot of
Yes.
that. So, from what you're saying is, it's just I don't find that to be true. But again, I'm not saying women didn't have any input, but that's what I'm saying. Define submission, because you could be submissive and still have input. So that's what I'm saying. Like define submission.
No, the way a lot of these brothers see nowadays, if black women have any kind of input, any say so, they're ready to say, oh, you're feminist, you're this and you're that. You see what I'm saying? I mean, take the Ashanti woman, what's her name? Ya Asentiwa, right? And this is after Christianity, when the Ashanti warriors wanted to give up the stool, right, to the British, she stepped in and said, "Oh hell no, you don't," right? And she gathered gathered the military, both men and women, and fought for that stool. If it wasn't for her, the stool would have been in England right now. And the Ghanaians, like they're doing today, would have been begging to get it on loan. You see what I'm saying? So she stepped in and said, "Oh no, you don't." Those are some of the examples I'm saying.
I'm trying to get examples where it was the norm, but women have always had input, but I'm trying to figure out how that's not being submissive.
Yeah, it was. It was. I can't quote a lot of stuff now, but Africa was never a patriarchal society. It just was not. It just was not. Later on it did. And Islam is old. Islam in 13th, 12th century. You see what I'm saying? Christianity about the same thing. I'm talking about before that. I'm talking before everything went through the women. That's I mean, if you read Dr. Diop from Senegal, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Kwesi, Professor Kwesi, I mean, you will see. If you read them, you will see.
It depends, but again, it's very broad. That's what I'm asking. Which ethnic group? I know, like with Yoruba.
It's hard to. I mean, the
Yorubas. You have the Uni.
The Yorubas are you wouldn't get that from the Yorubas, right? Or the Igbos, because they're basically Christian. They're basically Christian or Islam right now.
Even before that, because their history is very well documented even before Christianity and Islam. I'm just trying to figure out, like,
Yeah, but I've never read anywhere that women were submissive to men, because even in those cultures, women play a vital role in the society, and a lot of times what they say goes.
Okay, go ahead, Chrissy.
Yeah, hi. I'm not really following what you're saying, because when you look at ancient African society, people say, oh, it was matriarchal. The woman was revered, right? The woman is the giver of life. The woman's advisement, we think of older women, we think of wisdom that was, incorporated into decision making. But most of Africa, throughout ancient Africa, they had, I don't know where we getting identification that there was matriarchal versus patriarchal, because
it was a balance.
Most of the rulers were men of most societies. That's how we know the Ya Asantewaa, and we know here and there, Queen Chinedu, or Queen of Zaria, they're here and there because they are exceptions, where we see a woman rise to power. It's like, oh wow, that's why you can name them on one hand. And then you had men who had more than one wife. To me, that speaks to a level of dominance. The word submissive does not mean oppression, at least not to me. I am submissive to my husband. I don't see nothing wrong with that, meaning that he is the head. You cannot have more than one head at a time. Does he take my advisement? Yes. Does he consider what I have to say? Yes. But at the end of the day, for me and my household, his voice is the prevailing voice, and he is respectful of me where he takes my advisement. But submission does not mean oppression. And in most of African society, which was, kind of like, okay, I'll take from, look, I don't want to take from this particular person because I don't want nobody to call me no names. But I mean, when you look at the society itself, the infrastructure was built by the men, and then the women came in, and of course they preserved the culture and so forth. But people always say it wasn't matriarchal until the Europeans came, but they never provide any like evidence of that. I don't know what that means. What does matriarchal mean?
Chrissy,
What do they
have,
mean?
have you ever read any of Dr. Diop books?
A long time ago, there was one in
Okay,
particular one that I read. But
re-
when you say matriarchal,
read.
are you meaning that the man does not have a voice and the woman's voice is the
No,
prevailing voice? What does
no,
that mean?
no. I said there was a balance.
Okay.
I said there was a balance.
Uh-huh.
None above the other. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if that's true.
No,
Because
well, like I said, I would go back again, read Dr. Clark, read Dr. Ben, read Professor Kwesi and his wife, Sister Kwesi. They're the one who do the on ground research. And they
okay.
did it for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So
Right. I
read what
understand
they
that.
say.
Uh-huh.
Study it, and see. Everything passed through the women.
But just
All right?
looking at the
Read it and
society,
see.
if we
No,
have societies where you have men who are make the majority of a percentage of the rulers, they're the ones predominantly going to war. Do
That's
you
their
not
job.
think that you
That's
think
their
that they're
job.
taking those instructions from the women in the
Yes,
society?
no, that's not no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying. But in some instance, they had to. But that's their job. They're the protector. That's their job.
Okay.
go ahead, roll image.
So I'm a cunt. We inherit from mother's side, not father's side. So my father's throne, I can never inherit it. But what's on my mother's side, I can inherit it. A king is elected by the women. So I agree with what he's saying. On my clan, I'm speaking about their clan. The female is the head. The female is the one that selects the king or appoints the king. Or the
Thank you.
women are the ones that says, we think Dynasty is perfect for the throne, so let's put him on, and the voting and all
Thank you.
takes place. But
Thank you.
the woman is not the one that has the final say. From the top all the way to the bottom. But the woman does have a very powerful position. But all the way up there, when the king is selected, she just appoints him to be the king. But she don't have the final say in what happens or what gets done. That's just the selection. In the household,
Can I,
the man
can I
has
Balance.
ask
the
you a question
final.
about that?
Sure.
Balance.
My question for you is, and because that makes sense to me too, I'm wondering if that's happening because the women are actually the ones that are mostly interfacing in the community. So they're the ones who are more concerned with the leaders of the community, whereas the men are in the warrior class and they're out hunting and doing what they have to do to protect the community. The
Yes.
women are in the community, right?
This goes before fighting war and trying to dominate the people around you. So I'm just speaking for the group that I belong to. I don't know about anybody else, right? In Ghana, the Akan is the only one that inherits from mother side. Everybody else is father, right? So the woman has a role, the man has a role. So the Akan believes that the child belongs to the mother. We don't really give a crap who the daddy is, right? It's good to have the father there, but he gets to name the child. He gets his, like the spirit comes from the father. I don't think we need to go into all that, but the spirit comes from the father, but the flesh, the blood, that's with the mother. That's why the inheritance goes through the mother. So the kingship is through the mother. It has nothing to do with war and all of that stuff. It's just spirit and flesh. It's a bunch of stuff that make the Akan decide to be that way, right? It has nothing to do with war and society and all of that. It's mostly to do with the throne and kingship and all of that stuff. But when it comes to the household, the man comes home and says, I want to eat this. That's what he's eating. There's no equal this and none. There's no, right? The man has the final say. If I go into, let's say all of us are in there, we go commit a crime or whatever, we end up at the palace and there's an issue. Me being the younger one, if I'm the younger one, I'm never going to win. the elders going to win. You have to respect your elder. The elder's always right. That's how it is. If a man and a woman goes into the same trial, the man is going to win. After everything is settled and done, they're gonna pull that guy aside and say, "You were wrong. Apologize for it." But it's in private. It's not public for everybody to see. You understand? So in the society, the man is right, the elder is right, the woman is not, the child is not. But you're going to know, they're going to make you understand and know that you are wrong. They just don't do it publicly. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but
You make plenty of sense, but that's in your opinion.
Roland, so let me ask you this: Is Akon your ethnic group is it patriarchal or a matriarchal society?
matriarchal is a woman, right?
Okay, so here we go. This is the problem. We're confusing patriarchy with matrilineal.
We are matrilineal. So then, like, there's a throne in my father's house. There's a throne in my mother's house. My father's house, I can never go there. I don't belong to my father's clan. We are sorry. Okay, so both of my parents are Akan. I'm not trying to confuse.
Okay, so world image. Okay,
yes, sir.
Do you know the difference between patriarchy and matrilineal? Do you know the difference?
Patriarchy is what?
Okay. Do the men make the final decisions on outside of does the king come from the woman? Like, what role do the men make?
The man has a final say, but when it comes to kingship, the person that rule everybody, the woman selects him.
Okay, but who? Okay, so once that king is selected,
yeah,
who makes the final say?
The men. But okay, she can always come in and say something. She has input. If she says no, they have to listen to it. But the decision and all of that stuff happens without it. But if she hears, let's say the women in Chrissy and Black Beauty hears that Dynast is doing some stuff that she don't like, they don't like, they can come to you and say, we don't want you to do this and don't do it. They also have the power to remove you. But you and your council can have whatever council and decide whatever you want to do, but the women can decide that remove you.
Okay. Go ahead, Black Beauty. Black Beauty. Unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself. I can't hear you. You gotta mute yourself. Hold on. You gotta mute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay. Zoo221, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Peace to the panel. I think I'm just jumping up. I just think it's an interesting conversation. I think we are confusing matriarchy and matrilineal a little bit. In most societies are patriarchal. It's just the level to which they have bilineal or patrilineal or matrilineal descent heritage systems. Yeah, so in many ways, the brother Delroy is right. I think some of the confusion comes in when we're still using European words that come with European concepts like submissive, et cetera, et cetera. So that kind of jumbles the field up.
Okay, go ahead, Black Beauty. Black Beauty. Black Beauty, go ahead. She can't hear us. Okay, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, links in the chat room if you want to.
But Dynast,
go ahead.
But the one thing I want to say, I don't talk about today's society, because they do it here in the U.S. also, they do it in the Caribbean where I'm from also. When you talk about Black women, just remember that you have mothers, sisters, nieces, daughters, and everything. When you say Black woman, just remember that you have family members that are Black women. So be careful when you talk about Black women. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Yes, sir. Black Beauty. I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Black Beauty. Free game, go ahead.
Man, Dynast, you've been tripping lately, man. Come on.
What happened?
You've been going hard on FBA, man. You don't give us no leeway. Like every time, you
What
don't
did
give us
I
no
say?
leeway.
What did I say? What I do now? What happened?
Man, you always bashing us, man. You seen my comment in the video on your
Can you
video,
be can you be specific, please? Be specific. What's your issue?
bruh. You talk about the reparations stuff. Nobody, bruh.
In
You
what in
talk
what in what context free game? Be specific.
Dinus,
What did I say that you disagree with?
Dinus, like your last within your last 10 videos, you ain't been cutting us no slack.
Free game, brother. I need you to be specific.
I'll go back and watch them. I'll be
Okay.
specific.
Okay.
Anyway, with the Gambia stuff, bruh, Black American women have to learn culture and etiquette when they go places. They have to, because I don't think a lot of the times they be catching on to, hey, they ain't having this over here. Over here,
Not free game. It's they know better, but it's just they like don't want to conform. It's like they want the society to adapt to them. Not, and again, let me be specific. This is not all women, but a lot of times what I notice, they want society to conform to them wherever they go. If that makes sense.
yeah, and some people, when you get up and talking their face and try to embarrass them, they might not look at things like American people look at things. They might just go ahead and get rid of you and don't and feel justified about it. That's their
Can you hear me?
culture.
Yeah, we hear you now, that booty. Let free game finish. Go
Okay,
back to
got
you.
you.
They don't look at things the way we look at things in America. And that's how the world is. Most of the world is. America is a coddled, privileged place, honestly. You know, and when we go places, we don't catch on to the cultural norms or don't want to conform to it. I have some level of supremacy when we go, oh, it should be this way. No, those people will get you on up out of there real quick.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
What part of the world does black women die more than America? Get beat up, stabbed, killed, shot, and the whole 9 yards. So it happens here. It's happening here way more than anywhere else. Right?
You say where else in the world?
But yeah, I mean, black women get beat down here like crazy, bro. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah,
In
but I
court
think the
every day.
difference, but I think the
You
key
see?
difference is that I think the key difference is, and I can't even see your name, Mr. Is it Dolroy?
Ellis,
Because I'm
yeah.
on a phone and it's very tiny.
Okay.
Um, Mr. Ellis, I think the key difference, and you are right, there are plenty of things that happen here, but the key difference
Hmm.
is that people don't expect that to happen when they go home. This is not our home. Do you understand me?
Oh yeah,
So
it can
people don't
happen.
expect that when they repatriate and go to their home that they're going to be getting killed and stabbed. So I don't even know. That's why I jumped on because I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know the story. So I wanted Dynas to go through the story again because
yeah. Well,
my
well,
phone was choppy.
we all went through colonization and slavery. The Africans them did too. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
and like I'm telling Dinus, after Islam and Christianity, I mean, all of our cultures change. You know,
Yeah,
all our norms change and everything.
yeah. I just think
Mhm.
You
like
guys have to
my overall
understand.
comments were that specifically like, and this is what I was trying to say earlier. Someone called me and my phone just muted out. What I was trying to say earlier is that like I find it to be interesting this conversation because we're talking about traditions, right? But if you look around the world, not just in Africa, a lot of people have strayed from their traditions. I'm not saying that it's right or good. I'm not assessing it. I'm just observing it. And what I see is that we're over here talking about some age-old traditions that have not benefited us up to this point. I mean, when I go to Nigeria, which is often, and I have an apartment there, and my husband's there. When I go there, what I see is I see a bunch of men that appear that they're doing well, and then when you start to go to their house or you start to go to the, you know, events and you meet their wives and different people that they socialize with, you start to realize that a lot of these men don't really have a lot. It's mostly their women helping them. They have women abroad in Texas helping them pay bills. They have so what I find is that like, yeah, okay, patriarchy is great and yes, you were matrilineal and not a matriarchy. I think these semantics don't really matter. In 2024, we got to figure out how to come together as a team. It's a team sport. And at the end of the day, if we don't come together as a team, we won't have nothing. all of this matriarchy, patriarchy, I think it's like a feudal discussion. No one else is really having those discussions in their culture. What they're discussing now is AI technology and how to use and
But we
benefit
don't care what
from
anybody else is
technology.
doing. When you
Well,
say you go home, when you get home,
we should kind of
the
care
rules
because
are
we're
the
getting,
home.
excuse
There's
me,
rules and there's
I'm
laws.
sorry. I didn't cut you off, and I'm also being very respectful,
Yeah,
which I
but
don't
you
have to
can't
be.
come and
Everybody
tell
knows
me
I'm
that
a
I should
bitch and I
debate
don't
on
have
my
to be
culture
respectful, so please be
and
quiet while I talk. Thank you. Like I said, now
we're
I don't
not
care
going to
about your
get rid
culture.
of
I
our
didn't
culture,
ask you about a
all of
con.
that, for you
Me,
to
I'm
feel
Hausa. I
comfortable.
don't care. I'm Jamaican and I don't need to feel comfortable because I've already repatriated my country and I'm married to my Nigerian man. So I don't
That don't
need to
mean
feel
nothing.
comfortable.
You're not
I don't
trying
give
to
a
learn the
damn.
language. You're not trying to learn nothing.
Sana, yes, I do know the language.
What do you know?
Sundada. Yes, I know Sundada. I know all the words. I
That's
speak
not
to
the
my man in Yoruba
language.
every day.
You
What are you
just
talking
know
about?
a bunch of simple words.
It doesn't
Don't
matter.
speak. It does
Listen,
matter.
¿y te hablo
If a
español?
when
Ya
a
te
black
habla,
person
se
goes to
habla una
China for
lenguaje de
2
este
to 3
país, se
years,
habla
they
una,
speak Chinese or Mandarin.
espera, te habla una lengua, te habla una lenguaje de este país. The problem
What's
is
that?
you
What's that?
speak a language nobody
What's
cares
that?
about. Let's be honest.
I care about it. You don't have to care about it.
It doesn't matter what
And
you care
why are
about because
you
nobody
upset?
rates you.
Okay,
I'm
all
not
right,
upset.
all right, y'all. Okay, let's
I'm not
move
upset.
on.
I'm
Let me
being
know what she's trying to
honest.
say.
I'm being honest. The truth is, I'm trying
And
to finish
who's
my.
not being honest?
I'm trying to finish
You
All right,
my.
can't
well,
say
let
you're
her
going
finish. Let
back
her finish.
home.
Go ahead,
Let me
Rose. Baptist.
finish.
Go ahead,
You
Baptist.
can't
Go
say
Thank you,
ahead.
you're going
honey.
back home.
Thank you, honey. I don't
Baptist,
understand
go.
why this man is over
Baptist, go ahead.
talking me when I have not said anything disrespectful. I'm not
All right,
Ghanaian and I don't care
let's
to
move
be.
on. Let's move on. Go ahead.
Right. I don't care about Ghana and Akan.
Okay,
I'm
let's move
House of Fulani. Now,
on.
my man is from Delta State. Now, like I said, when you go back to Nigeria, I'm speaking about my country I repatriated. When you go back to, you see that it's a team sport. It's women and men helping each other. Whether it's patrilineal, matrilineal, matriarchy, patriarchy, you see there's women living abroad and their men are working at the Access Bank and they still got to help them or vice versa. It's a team sport. So I think in order for us to advance, right, as a diaspora, we need to start thinking about this as a team sport instead of it being a man against woman thing. Because while we're having the man against woman argument, these people are industrializing. I mean, they have text to video now. Open AI just released text to video, and we're talking about matrilineal, patrilineal. I beg, please stop it. And yes, I do know the languages. I speak 4 languages. I'm learning my own language, which is Hausa. And yes, I don't care to speak fluent Yoruba because that's not my tribe. But yes, I speak enough Yoruba with my husband every day, and I don't have to prove anything to you because I'm not interested in being in ghetto Ghana. You didn't let the African Americans come and run through your country, and you talking about Akan? I don't care. Next.
I was just explaining something. Now, I just want to say this, okay? All I'm trying to say is any black person, when they go to any other country on this planet, right? You give them 2 years in China, they learn Mandarin, they speak it fluent. If they go to Japan, they speak fluent. Anywhere they go, they speak it fluent. Now, there's this thing that we have in our mind when we go to Africa, because the black man has in his mind, or the woman has in his mind, that the African is still primitive, just like the white people. So there's no need to learn anything African or improve anything African. The black man and the black woman wants to make sure that whatever is there that they don't feel comfortable with or they don't identify with, they want to get rid of it. You heard the lady say, we don't have to identify anything. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. All I'm saying is, while you're there, if that's your home, you maintain home, you build home, you polish home. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. I'm not trying to disrespect you. But if you say you go home, when you get home, whatever that's there, you polish it up, you make it nice. When the Chinese go home, they don't go home to change anything. They know who they are. Somebody just mentioned that Africans are colonized, we are colonized, but there's still some culture there, there's still some tradition there, there's still these things that we can polish up and make it better, and we build from there. Every other group of people has what's theirs, what belongs to them, and it's sacred to them. We are the only people that want to stay away from what makes us unique and what makes us sacred. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you say I'm home, but I don't care about these traditions, I don't want to speak about your ghetto Akan and all this, that's foolishness. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. All I'm saying, if you're home,
Yeah, but brother, you're both kind of right to me. She's making her point. You're making your point. Again, I'm gonna say that what you see on YouTube and all that not necessarily mean what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Other people are doing the right thing and living the way they're supposed to be. So in a way, you're both correct. You know, I mean, she got a little bit insulted with a couple of stuff like she don't care about Ghana and this and that, and that's kind of disrespectful. But I could see
Well, I don't
her
mean to be
points.
disrespectful. I'm going to
You
apologize
know,
because, for years growing up, my daddy is from St. Anne, Jamaica. And for years
um,
growing up, he told us, I know you're Jamaican. I can hear it in your voice. That's why I
oh
said
yes, of course.
that. Don't know, say, I know you're yardy. I know you're
Hmm.
from your yard. Listen, my dad thought I was Ghanaian until I called him from Nigeria and I
Hmm.
introduced him to my husband. And then I showed him my results and I said, I think we thought we were Ghanaian, but we're actually Nigerians. And so let me
Most
tell you something.
Jamaicans.
Right, most Jamaicans and most of us are North Nigerian, thank God.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. The reality is what I'm saying specifically is that we can hold on to our traditions and that's great. And the reason why I said what I said about the language is because when you come into America and you tell, like, look, for example, we have a bunch of Nigerian friends here. If they say they're Nigerian, the only languages that people recognize is like, do you speak Yoruba? Are you Igbo? They don't even know that Igbo has its own language. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're like, nobody says like, and I'm not saying that we have to do things by their rules. What I'm saying is that there are plenty of dialects in China that we know nothing about. All of this
Yeah.
holding on to tradition and shit. What I'm saying is we have to be industrious. We have to move forward and industrialize. And all of this holding on to tradition, it's really nice for us. Like, it's great for me to go back to Nigeria and learn. I have a 500-page Hausa dictionary that I got from a professor that was an Igbo man out in Nigeria in a restaurant. He gave it to me. And I have a tutor and a bunch of people. But guess what? No one cares about that language. If I mention it to them, they're like, what's Hausa? Do you speak
Yeah.
Yoruba like in the songs? So
But,
what I'm trying to tell you is that the languages, the traditions, that's us for us. That's what warms our
right.
heart. And what I'm saying is that I'm a finance girl and I'm looking around of the landscape and we are losing because we don't even have the tools and we don't seek the tools. All we're looking for is to hold on to our flags and our traditions. And it's no different in the Caribbean. You know, it's the same.
Yeah, I
All we
understand.
want to
Yeah,
do
this
is
is true.
jump up on the parkway and Carnival Monday and Tuesday just
Yeah,
done past in
for
Trinidad.
sure.
All we want to do is jump up and talk about colors and flags. And I'm tired of that. I'm
For
sorry. And
sure. Yeah, you're right.
Chrissy's on this channel too. She's a
You're right.
Jamaican. And you have
You're
to know
right.
this is true. All we do is party as Black people. And all we talk about is colors and traditions and man and woman when we need other things. We
Hmm.
need science,
Yeah. Well,
technology,
the
economics,
subject.
All right,
mathematics.
guys, let me do this. Let me pass it to Mass Quasi because he's in Gambia right now. Mass Quasi, go ahead and unmute yourself. Well, let me unmute you because you have some background. Go ahead,
Can
Mass
you
Quasi.
hear me, sir?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Right now, this one right here, it really hit hard, this one. If you go back, I don't know if you know Kiki, Nigeria. We've been, since the first sister died to our knowledge, her name is Sister Beverly Allen. She passed away, and in her death, we were like, okay, the sister, she had some issues. She actually lived with me. She stayed at my personal compound for 2 months when I was working with Blackset. Okay. And the sister, she passed away. She did have an autoimmune system issue. And however, when she passed away, we was like, okay, she passed away. Then we had Sister Audrey pass away. Could you still hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Audrey, she came through Art Cathey, and she stayed with us at Elvin B&B for about 2 or 3 weeks. If you go back on her page, I sent you over the video. She stayed with us there. And when Audrey passed, it was, that hurt because a lot, I spoke to a lot of people. I talked to her. She was a very sweet person. And for her to pass unexpectedly, hold on one second. This was for her to pass unexpectedly like she did, we started to question, because they don't do autopsy here. They don't have homicide. It's not like the States there. If somebody died, if there was some nefarious activity behind it, they're going to investigate and they're going to find out what happened. It's not like that here. Within 2 or 3 days, they're putting you in the ground. So that cancels out any type of investigation that needs to be done. Okay, so it's a whole different terrain. So Kiki love Nigeria, and I always give her a props because she's a person that has, been looking into the Gambia, looking into the activities of the repats here, and she's been putting it out there in terms of, our disunity here, which has brought all of this victimization. And if you look at some of my old videos,
Yeah, we lost him. SJ, unmute yourself, SJ. SJ, unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead. Go ahead, SJ.
Okay. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I just want to say that currently I'm an American. I live in Senegal. Currently, I'm an American. I live in Senegal. And coming to the African continent, I think that you should, as a woman, move quietly and respectfully, especially as Dinah says, living in countries where men are primarily in charge, and maybe not jump into relationships as you would in the United States. I think if that's your behavior in the United States, that'll be your behavior wherever you are outside of your country. And I also want to make one other comment to women and men in general, that if you have medical conditions that you have in the United States and you're taking medication for certain things, you don't abruptly go someplace and now you're going to change up. You're not going to take your meds. You're going to try everything under the sun because now you're in Africa. No, you have to continue to take your medications, or you're going to have uncontrollable high blood pressure. You're going to have diabetes. You're going to have gout. You're going to have all kinds of things. So maybe in some of these cases are people who have stopped their meds, decided that they're going to drink this tea or, eat these berries or all kinds of things. Because I've heard some crazy things that women talk to me about. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to continue to take my medication. I'm going to go seek out a doctor. I'm going to have a checkup and those types of things. So, but what you were saying, Dinah, earlier about, coming over and exposing things in the
hey,
Gambia.
Dinus, could you hear me? I'm sorry, I went out for a second. Are you there?
Yeah, somebody's talking right now. We'll pass it back to you in a couple minutes, Quasi.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
I don't get how you can come to a country and immediately move around and expose things. Someone explain that to me. That's not where you're from. Okay? You haven't grown up on the continent. Those are my comments.
I agree with you, sis. I think it's very dangerous to do that. If I gave you guys all the stories of everything and put up videos of all the shit that happened to me in Niger, just trying to do business, just trying to buy a little fridge for my Airbnb, just trying to buy furniture, just trying to the wahala we did go through when I was out there with my husband, please, my YouTube would be popping. But I refuse to do it because I live there and I plan on going back there and I plan on showing my face there and walking the neighborhood and being a part of the community. So, I just chalk it up to people be scheming. They be scheming in New York too. So I don't take it to offense when they do it in Lagos. I see it the same way as every other schemer in the world. They scheme in China too. So I agree with you. I don't believe in going and exposing, because what happens is people start seeing your face and you don't know who's looking at you. Next thing you know, they know you and you don't know them. So people want to ask why I don't do videos like that. That's why. I have so much content I can be throwing up here from Nigeria. I don't put it up because I don't need many people knowing my face. If you know me because you met me in real life. Like, I'm cool with the police officers. I'm cool with the directors at Access Bank. I'm cool with some of the biggest bankers and some of the biggest business people in Lagos. I don't put that shit out there because at the end of the day, it's not for everybody to know where and how I move. I'm a member of a country club as well. It's not for everybody to know how I move in Lagos. So instead of me complaining, I just keep my mouth shut. And what do I put up? Pictures of me at the concert, the Ashaki concert, pictures of me shaking my ass on the beach. That's light. But I'm not about to put all y'all onto that. No.
Let me do this. Let me pack because I have a hard stop at 3:00. So I have a conference call I gotta hop on. So SJ, anything else you want to add? I'm gonna pass the mask Quasi, let him finish, and then we'll close out.
Yo, I'm out, Dynast. I gotta go.
Okay, see you later.
Peace. Bye.
Peace. SJ, anything else you want to add? You gotta unmute yourself. Okay. Quasi, go ahead, bro.
No, there's nothing else I wanted to add. Thanks for letting me up.
Oh, no problem. Quasi, unmute yourself, Quasi. Hold on, let me try to unmute him. Oh, he gone. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Hey, rest in peace to Shakina Chinedu. She did not deserve this. You're right, but nope. It's just when it comes to Gambia, it's just a certain way you gotta move because it's.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's what was the beginning of the conversation. Could you just recap quickly what happened to her?
She was found dead in a well on her property.
Is she a YouTube personality or anybody know any background?
I've met her. I've interviewed her before on my YouTube page.
Okay.
She's from the UK. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much. Yeah. You know that Dynast. What? Shakina was nice. I know she was nice. I met her. What are you talking about, Audrey? Know what? Okay, whatever. Everybody, thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynast Search for Guru. Peace.
All right, peace, Dynast.